So we have this nice melange of vegetables. The mushrooms are down there buried or cut up. Everything is cut up, ready to go in a very, very hot skillet. And I'm not putting the olive oil in there yet until the pan is very hot. So we'll just move this out of the way so I don't burn my fingers on it. Nice big pan with a fairly thick bottom. That's important. The heat is distributed evenly. Could be thicker, even though this one's pretty good. I get little same spot every time where things kind of burn. The pan burns a little bit. So if you get one with a really thick bottom, a little thicker than this, you're in good shape. The tomatoes are in there for really one purpose, is to keep everything from really burning up. Since this is going to be done quickly, the tomatoes will give off a lot of water. The mushrooms won't because they're shiitake. And the shallots, a little bit. Onions would have given off more. And then the bacon will add a little bit towards the end with the broccoli, and the zucchini will definitely go at the very end. And that's the way I cut them today. If you see, I feel the heat, the pan is hot. Now we're going to coat it with butter, olive oil. You can use olive oil and butter, but if you use butter with the olive oil, it'll probably brown a little bit. If you use straight butter, it definitely will brown. And you can see how hot that is. We're just going to very nicely throw that in. There goes my dog, he's running. He heard the sizzling and it scared him. The salt and pepper is in there already. And don't be afraid of cooking it with high heat like this. If you cook it slowly, everything will be like a little bit mushy. I like this. You keep it a little bit al dente. A nice side dish. Well, this could be a main course for a vegetarian. And if you want to put herbs in here, go right ahead. The only herb I'm putting into this one is some fresh chopped parsley at the very end. See, if you notice, the tomatoes are kind of giving off liquid, at high heat. It's cooling a little, and I'm throwing food on the floor. And since it's for me, I don't mind. Maybe some people will be turned off by that, but guess what? You're not going to die from a little dirt. You might die from a virus, but not a little dirt. Speaking of dirt, I recently found out that dirt is very healthy for you. Cleans the toxins out of your body and other things, but not just plain old dirt that you find in your backyard. So I'm going to do a little more, and I'm going to find some, and I'm going to use it in cooking. Because I noticed a chef in Japan was using dirt in his recipe. He kind of simmered it down and I guess used the liquid, and they said whatever he was cooking was a very expensive dish. So look how nice and colorful this is. These are all my leftovers in the refrigerator. You know, when I bring stuff home from work, I try to utilize them as soon as possible, and sometimes I don't have the time to do it. And I wanted to get these items cooked a little bit before I had to toss them, which I did, a few other things. What's missing in here, which I usually would put, is some carrots. But They were like shriveled up. You notice the sizzling has subsided quite a bit because tomatoes are giving off that liquid and you almost can't find them in here anymore. That's great because the flavor is there. If you want to throw basil in here, oregano, thyme, a couple of teaspoons of whatever you like, your herb, go right ahead. And now this is being mixed up and almost ready. I'm liking the colors that are in here. So this is a dinner. Actually, if this was my dinner, I would eat everything in there and be very satisfied with it. But if you're, let's see, a couple of ladies, women, who are light eaters, 2 of you could enjoy this. At this point right now, if you wanted to have something great in there, because it's almost done, and if you would throw those shrimps in here, like 25 to 30 count, they're small, and they would cook perfectly by the time this is done, and you'd have yourself a shrimp dinner with vegetables. It looks a little oriental. That's because of the way I cut the vegetables. I like that. And you could throw some ginger in here too. Put a splash of soy sauce. And forget about the having sugar in there, because that's a killer in that Chinese and Japanese food. Just about done. And what's nice is, you notice nothing is burning, even though this flame is super high. Nothing is burning. There's one area right there. As long as you keep on mixing things. And if you like your food al dente, it's done right now. See that little black area right there? That's the only spot in this pan. So I'll move it away from the heat just a little. And we are done. Peppers are soft. That's done. And now to finish it off, throw the zucchini, the bacon, the broccoli, and just a little bit more salt. But if you want to taste something first, yep. So that'll be a tablespoon and a half. The pepper I got. Now since we added this much more, we can extend this to 3 people. Not vegetarians now, because there's bacon in there. So you leave the bacon out, and you have everything else. I put the bacon in because I didn't feel like putting it in the freezer, and it's been sitting in the refrigerator already for well over a week. I don't like to fill up the freezer with little packages of this, that, the other thing. This is one of these dishes where you just can't leave it alone. You have to constantly stir over the high heat. And by me running the camera for the entire length of this cooking, you have the exact timing, so there's no question about it. Most of the time I stop the film and say do this, and then I come back to it. But this one, there we go. We're done. I like the broccoli. Al dente like that. The amount of bacon that was in there, I'm just getting a slight bacony flavor. Let's just shut this off. Get a plate. And put this on a small plate. Let's say just you're having a little side dish of this. See what it looks like. Wow. You know, color means a lot, and everything is nice and firm. So how's that? And that is delish. I hope you enjoy it. Remember, leave the bacon out if you're a vegetarian, or add anything else you like. Enjoy.